James, it's great to see you. Look, we're not going to send tanks, but we will send empty shells that France will fill with powder. I don't know, our tanks here are just essentially scrap on wheels. In Ukraine, they could help fight and win this first battle of World War III.
Andrew, I welcome the decision and the announcement by the Defence Minister and Foreign Minister in Paris this morning to provide those artillery shells to Ukraine. Anything which Ukraine requests, which we are in a position to provide, we should provide, because Ukraine's success and Ukraine's victory in this war will be a victory for all of the free world, and we should do everything we can to help them. I also welcome the decision by the German government to send its own Leopard 2 tanks and to allow those who we had previously sold Leopard 2 tanks for, including Poland and others, to be able to re-export that to Ukraine. And I also think it's very positive that the United States has provided some 31 of their Abrams tanks, or will do so. It is a separate question as to whether Australia should provide some of our Abrams tanks. I take the point that you make and others like Greg Sheridan have made that our Abrams tanks haven't seen a lot of action, although we shouldn't necessarily assume from that they wouldn't see action in the future. And my late dear colleague, Senator Jim Paterson, was a fierce and outspoken advocate for retaining an armoured element to our army. He thinks it's essential for combined arms activities and for both force projection and force protection. And he doesn't want to see us not be able to have that option available to us. So I heed his words in being just a little bit cautious about disposing of all of our tanks to Ukraine.
Yeah, but this is the thing, James. If we don't help Ukraine win this war, right, and if Ukraine fails, Russia will be emboldened, China will be emboldened, and China we're actually going to get a war more likely if that war in Ukraine is not won. China's watching, they're watching. Therefore, wouldn't it make more sense to send at least some of these tanks? I don't say send the whole 60 odd, 20 might do, 10. Holland's sending 18 or 14 or something like that, and they're 2/3 of our size. I'm sure we could afford a few. Why not?
Andrew, you're absolutely right that the Ukrainian cause is both a moral cause and a strategic cause. It is unquestionably in our national interest that they prevail, because if they do not, then the message will be sent to the world that you can take force of your neighbours by territory and that the world won't stop you. And that would be a catastrophic lesson for countries, authoritarian governments like China in our own region to take from this conflict. So you're absolutely right about that. You're also right that we should do what we can, consistent with our national interest and with our own defence needs, provide everything we can. And I'm proud, particularly initiated under the previous government, we were one of the world's largest non-NATO contributors to Ukraine, and that has continued under the new government. That's very important. If we're able to provide Abrams tanks, and if that is a useful addition, I hope that our defence planners are carefully considering that, in addition to the other things we provided, including the self-propelled howitzers and the Bushmasters, which of course have been a very popular and well-received contribution to the Ukrainian effort.